most people who study English every single day still feel stuck. Not because they are lazy, but because nobody told them the truth about how the brain actually learns a language. By the end of this episode, you will understand why you feel stuck, what to do about it, and you'll practice real English in a way that actually sticks in your memory. This episode is made for B1 and B2 learners, intermediate students who already know English but don't yet feel it. And I want to say something important before we begin. I'm Sona. I'm a real English teacher. I studied English language teaching at university. I'm not an AI voice. I'm not a robot reading a script. I am a human being who loves this language, and I built this podcast for you. Let's go. Here's something most language apps will never tell you. Motivation is not a feeling. Say that again with me. Motivation is not a feeling. People say, I don't feel motivated today. But that sentence is a trap because motivation doesn't come before action. It comes after action. Think about it. Have you ever started studying even when you didn't want to? And then, after 5 minutes, you were completely focused. That's not an accident. That's how the brain works. Scientists call it the activation energy principle. Your brain resists starting, but once you start, the resistance drops. The focus comes. So the next time you say, I don't feel like studying English, don't wait to feel ready. Just open the app, open the book, press play. The motivation will follow you. And here's the part that's going to change how you think about English learning. I'll share it in just a moment. But first, let's practice some language. This is your first shadowing practice. Shadowing means you listen and then you repeat. Try to copy my rhythm, my speed, and my voice. Don't just translate the words, feel the sentence. Ready? Listen first, then repeat after me. I don't wait to feel ready. I just begin. Again, I don't wait to feel ready. I just begin. Every time I practice, my brain gets a little stronger. One more time. Every time I practice, my brain gets a little stronger. The hardest part is starting. After that, it gets easier. Beautiful. Now, here's a challenge for you. Write one of those sentences in the comments. Or better, write your own version. Replace one word and make it personal. That act of writing, that's memory formation. That's real learning. Now, here's the part I promised you. Learning English isn't just about English. When you learn a new language, your brain actually builds new neural pathways, new connections, new ways of thinking. Research from neuroscientist Ellen Bialystok shows that bilingual people who speak 2 languages, have a stronger focus, better memory, and in some studies, their brain stays sharper for longer as they age. Let that land for a second. You're not just learning a language, you're building a stronger brain. Every English sentence you practice, every podcast you listen to, every word you look up is an investment in your mind. But here's the mistake most learners make, and this one is critical. They treat English like a subject, like history or math, something you study for a test and then forget. Language is a skill, and skills don't grow in classrooms. Skills grow through use. Think about learning to drive. You can read every driving manual in the world, but you don't learn to drive until you're in the car. English is exactly the same. I want to teach you something practical now, a technique I use with my own students. I call it the emotional anchor. Here's how it works. When you learn a new English word, don't just write the definition. Connect it to an emotion or a memory. For example, the word resilient. Resilient means able to recover quickly from difficulties. Now, if I just give you that definition, you will probably forget it in 2 days. But if I say, think of the most difficult moment in your life, the moment you thought you couldn't continue, but you did. That moment, that is what resilient means. Now you won't forget it because it lives inside a feeling, not just a definition. The English words you remember most are always the ones attached to something real. So when you study vocabulary, stop memorizing lists. Start connecting words to your life. Time for your second shadowing practice. This time, the sentences are a little more natural, a little more conversational. This is the kind of English you hear in real life. Listen, then repeat. Feel the rhythm. I used to think I wasn't good at English. Now I know I just needed more time. Repeat. I used to think I wasn't good at English. Now I know I just needed more time. Every mistake I make is proof that I'm trying. Every mistake I make is proof that I'm trying. I'm not perfect at English yet, but I'm better than I was yesterday. I'm not perfect at English yet, but I'm better than I was yesterday. Notice something about those sentences? They're not just English practice, they're a mindset. The words you say to yourself in any language shape the way you see yourself. When you shadow those sentences, you're not just practicing pronunciation, you're practicing belief. Here's a question for the comments. Which of those 3 sentences spoke to you the most and why? Write it down. I read every single comment. We're almost at the end, and I want to leave you with one idea. One idea that I hope stays with you long after this episode is finished. The people who become fluent in English, they are not smarter than you. They didn't start earlier than you. They didn't have better teachers. They just decided at some point to stop waiting for the perfect moment. They stopped waiting to feel ready. They stopped waiting for confidence. They started, and confidence grew from the starting. Fluency isn't a destination you arrive at. It's a direction you move in. And every single day you practice, every episode you listen to, every sentence you shadow, you are moving. You are already doing it right now, this moment. And that is not a small thing. That is everything. Before you go, take a breath. You just spent 10 minutes with the English language. You practiced pronunciation. You learned something about your brain. You built a real sentence. That's not nothing. That's not wasted time. That is you choosing growth on a regular Tuesday or Friday or whatever day this is for you. This is Sona's English podcast. I'm Sona, a real teacher, a real human, and I'll be here for your next 10 minutes whenever you're ready. Take care of your mind. Take care of your English. They're the same thing.